Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about cleaning your vintage dolls. Not just vintage dolls, but any doll really that is extremely dirty. So I have recently gotten back into vintage Barbies. That's a story for another day, but I have been able to financially purchase them recently. That's all I'm gonna go into right now. And obviously when you get these vintage Barbie dolls, they're going to be filthy. You're going to need to clean them, soap and water, sponge, toothbrush, all of that stuff. That's kind of just common sense with the secondhand items. But sometimes it can get a little bit, you find yourself a little bit lost when the doll, you've washed it several times with sponge, soap, water, sometimes even bleach, and some of the spots will just not come out. Now, I've seen many people use this method, and I found out about this particular product. It's quite a common household product. It's a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Not just a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, any type of erasing sponge like this that's made to take away hard stains like on countertops, stoves, etc. It's going to work wonders on these vintage Barbie dolls, particularly on the legs. The legs, I find, are the hardest part to get clean because a lot of them had the bend and snap legs. It started from, 65, I believe, until, 2010, I think, still had the bend and snap legs. And a lot of the times, they really attract dirt, dust, oils from your hands. They get sticky, and the dirt sometimes stains them and whatnot. Sometimes only surface level, but that's, there's different levels of stains. But I want to show you, this is the arm, what it looks like before. This is after. It's a night and day difference. Now, I will say, when using the sponge, please do bear in mind that some of the doll's original sheen, as you can see here, will be buffed out. This can sometimes also be used as a sandpaper. It doesn't really sand it out, more so it gets rid of the surface. I don't know how to describe it. It gets rid of the surface sheen sometimes on certain vinyls, plastics, etc. But I think it's a good trade-off, in my opinion, to have a cleaner doll that's slightly less shiny than it originally was, than have a filthy doll with a little bit of shine. So that's just me. You can clearly see that that's night and day. You can get these quite inexpensive. You don't need name brand. I want to stress that. These are off-brand. Cheapest, I think they're the cheapest you can get in my general area. Just find the cheapest one you can get. It'll work, I swear. They're pretty much all the same. And you're literally just going to take this and you're going to wipe. Now, you've seen how dirty it was before. Now, I'm just going to wipe some of this off, and immediately, you see that line right there? That's just night and day difference. And I've cleaned this doll several times and have not been able to get this level of cleanliness with the arms. It's just amazing. And I highly recommend any doll collector. Maybe you're a new doll collector and your dolls were stored somewhere where conditions were whatever, or they're dusty, or maybe somebody got their hands on them, whatever the case may be. Or you're a vintage doll collector like I am. I also collect new dolls as well, but I primarily at the moment am doing vintage because it's just what's interesting to me at the moment. And I need to make them look presentable when they're on my shelf and or I'm selling them. So this is a must-have for any cleaning, honestly. Now, I do want to stress that sometimes, depending on the stability of your doll's paint, it depends on who the manufacturer was, how old the doll is. You're not going to want to use this for every doll, but for vinyl dolls, like, say, 50s, 60s, that type of era, it's pretty safe to use it on those types of dolls. You want to be careful with the face, though. Now, I've never in my life I've used it on American Girl, Vintage, New, Mid, whatever other variants there may be with age. And I've never in my life had it rub the doll's paint off, but with Mattel dolls, I want to I keep saying stress, but I really want to make it known. Mattel dolls from a certain time periods, from like late 2000s, like mid 2000s, I'd say, 2010s to heck, even 2013 in some cases, the paint on their dolls, the screening, are very... You're not going to be able to do too much with them. Even regular cleaning can damage the paint. I've had it happen to several dolls, even childhood dolls of mine. And it's really heartbreaking when that happens, especially if it's a rare doll or if it's a childhood doll, sentimental, stuff like that. You want to test the stability. How do you test the stability? Go to a very inconspicuous area, maybe like the very tip of the eyebrow. Kind of either rub with a Q-tip, light pressure, then maybe up the pressure a little bit to test the doll's paint stability before you do this. Because I didn't on certain things, and I went in with like a very coarse toothbrush and started going to town and was wondering why my doll's face was coming off. Well, that's the reason. And also how the doll might have been kept made the paint more less stable than it originally was, like stuff like that. So I just want to stress that you need to be careful with this. But for the bodies and stuff like this, like especially dolls with painted nails, like it might remove that. It could remove that, but for the paint, I think it's a good trade-off to have like clean toes and then you go in and touch up the toenails or whatever, than to have dirty painted toenails, in my opinion. So just go to town, just start scrubbing, and boom, you've got a clean doll arm. Now I'm probably going to go in detailed work with this. I like to make sure my dolls are extra super clean, as many spots as I can get off. Now this doll is like a stained. These are stains. I've washed this doll. I've used a magic eraser. This is not coming out without benzoyl peroxide. This is very yellowed. Her head is yellowed. I'm testing out the I've done this several times and had little to no success with it, but I'm gonna try leaving it in sunlight. I'm using denture tablets to lighten the face, and I'm gonna see how that works, and then I'll maybe like update and see if I recommend it or not. But yeah, I'm just trying. I try a bunch of different things. I get inexpensive dolls. Sometimes I use it on more rare dolls, like these vintage Barbies that go for high prices. But honestly, I've dealt with dolls for about 10 years of my life. I'm 20, almost 21 years old. I've been doing this since I was 10, 11 years old with my grandmother, cleaning up her dolls, because she didn't really... she liked to buy them, but she didn't clean them up sometimes. So I would do that work. So I know what I'm doing with certain things, but, you know, if you're new, you don't know what to look for, then, yeah. I'm not trying to act like I know it all, but I do know some things, and I know that this works, and I just wanted to recommend it to anybody that might not know of this method. And, yeah, so that's it. As you can see, arm's really clean looking. I'm going to go in and clean it even more to make sure it's super clean, and then probably her torso, bottom area, and then just go into the legs to make sure they're super super-clean. But yeah, see you in the next video, and I'll update y'all to see if the denture tablets work. So bye bye.